Sure.
I like this one.
These are pansies.
This is what they plant
All right.
a lot in the
Viola
Okay.
cross wittrockiana.
That's what you call me.
Okay. Pansies,
19.
believe it or not, they're not all that wimpy here, really. They take some stuff in the wintertime that a lot of other plants won't. So I guess it just kind of depends on what you mean by pansy. You can see just a ton of different colors. They're typically sort of pastel-like, but there are some that sort of jump out at you. This bright yellow. This is one that's a couple of people's favorite. This sort of bright yellow with a nice burgundy maroonish color. Okay, but you can see a lot of different colors. Typically all with a lighter center, almost always a yellow center. But sometimes you can get some that seem to be a little bit less yellow than others.
All these are the same species?
Well, here's the thing. So Viola cross wittrockiana. Okay, so it's a cross, and as you continue to do more development, so you bring more cultivars in and things like that, obviously there'll be some different bloodlines in a lot of these. One thing that that we mentioned is that Viola cross wittrockiana, if you'll notice down in the lecture only part of your list, there's Viola tricolor. All right, Viola tricolor or Johnny jump ups are one of the plants that I believe were used to form the cultivated pansy that we use now. So tricolor was one of the parents to cross wittrockiana, and on tricolor a lot of times you'll see this dark little sort of triangular blotch down at the bottom of the base of the particular petal. Okay, you'll notice that pansies they have a very distinct shape. It ends up being almost a rounded shape, but you'll notice two petals, or I'm not sure if they're petals or sepals, but functionally they're petals. Two petals up on the top, okay, and then there'll be 4 or 3 petals down at the bottom. So it's 5 petaled flowers, but these two petals sort of subtend this petal that is the largest of all the petals, and sort of has this vein, or it almost makes a face, people say. So this particular structure is the face in the flower that so many people talk about with pansies. Okay. The foliage on pansy is really pretty. I mean, it's not super unique, but it's unique enough where you can identify that this is a pansy. One thing that helps is knowing that when a pansy should be growing. And then you'll also notice that there's a sort of a winged petiole to a great extent, all right, and then the foliage is very soft and has almost a translucence. You can't see through it, but it's very shimmery, okay, especially in the sun out here. Almost looks a little bit wet, like we talked about with bugleweed. Okay, the leaf. Yes, I'm sorry. Okay, and then once the petiole meets the leaf, it sort of has a rounded, I suppose, an ovate sort of look. All right, with very regular rounded serration. Okay. And then sometimes it'll be subtended by a little leaflet down on the base. Okay. But for the most part, whenever pansies are out, they're blooming. Okay. Once they quit blooming, people will take them up because they're not going to survive our summers here. So they're a cool season annual, just like everything we're going to talk about. Well, I take that back. Not everything on this list is technically a cool season annual, but it's best used that way. All right, so we'll talk about some of those as we come to it. But look on the flower if you're having trouble. 2 petals up on the top. All right, 1 large petal on the bottom, and then 2 petals that sort of sit up on top of those. Okay, make a little face. Questions?